Hi, this is Dr. Dom. So today I'm going to make a sort of pull-up back exercise machine out of 2 bits of rail sleeper. So I actually made this machine myself ages ago and kept it in the garden. So I'm going to remake it basically in my shed or garage, gym. So 2 railway sleepers together. Then I use some hose clamps, and this hose clamp metal sort of wire, and you clamp the 2 together. But as you're doing that, you also clamp inside this weights bar, because then what you can do is add weights to the end. When you want to start getting more and more weight on, you just add weights to the end. This weighs quite a lot anyway, the 2 sleepers. You can make them longer to make them weigh more. You can also strap weights to the sleepers themselves, but I just put it on the end so then you can adjust it quickly. And then on top of that, or across that, I'm going to try and fit this bar. So I'm probably going to have to shave some wood off the bar, and then you use that bar to lift the whole thing. So step over it and lift it the other way. So let's put this away. So when you're done, you should be able to do your exercises with the bar like that. Okay. So the first thing to do is strap these things together with that bar in place. So let's start there. I've got these 2 sleepers on little tiny bits of wood underneath so I can thread through the hose clamp wire. So if we get rid of this, there, then we can start clamping. So put your bar in place. This is an old bar I don't use anymore because it's got those things on. I've got a smooth bar. So then do that. You can actually rest it in between, but I think I want these clamped together if possible. So make sure these are together as much as possible. I think I'll start clamping here. Let's see how that goes. So you get your bit of metal. That's got a little screw. Put the other bit of metal through this way once you've threaded it through, and then start screwing, and then the metal goes through and through, gets drawn through tighter and tighter. This stuff's quite strong. I've used it for this before, so I know it will hold the weight, which is good. That's the main thing. So this is sharp at the end, so threading it through the hassle. But it's going. You have to lift up your log and coerce it. There it comes. Alrighty, that's bent going through. So just use a pair of pliers to take it out again without snapping it off. This should feed through quite a lot, so it wouldn't matter. I'm going to looks like this won't feed through. Right, that's too short, so let's get a new piece. It'll probably do for further down. So for now, we'll get a new piece. Right, so thread through. Let's do it the easy way. Oh, I'm trying to get near the end, so it's better, more stable and stronger. All right, let's do that. Right, so if I cut it there, and then about there, just to make sure, give yourself some room. You have to twist it a bit, because these pliers aren't that great. That's one end. If you focus on one side, if your pliers are rubbish. Right, you thread this through here. Let's try this one. Actually, no, that one's straight. That's going to be easier to thread. Let's straighten this. Right, thread that through there. And then you don't click it in, you have to thread this bit through first before you fix it in place right. Now you fix it in place by doing that and that. But it's the wrong way round. Damn it. Right, reverse. It's always the same with DIY. Right, do it the other way so it can screw in. Feed it through there. Right, there you go. Now you can feed in your other end, and then you screw to tighten. You can probably use an electrical screwdriver, but let's start off with a normal one. Right, so that's pulling it through. Yeah, that's working. Okay, let's get an electric screwdriver. See if that works. So actually this bar's quite low, so hopefully this won't need sanding that much. Yeah, it should be all right. I don't even think it's the bar. I think it's just a wobbly bit of log. Right, anyway, let's try this. There you go. So that's tightening. Ah, that's got tighter. That's pretty damn tight. Right, let's try and see if these two fit the other end. 1, 2. Because the other end's narrower. Let's try it here. Make the end straight so it threads through. Yeah, that's going to work. Right, now it's a question of just tightening it up. Yep, that's going in. Nah. That's better. Hold the screw housing itself, but don't get your fingers caught. Right, that's going in now. Now I have to try and hold the screw housing, but make sure I don't crush my fingers as I go. Let's turn this drill down as well. Let's try that. This slower setting. No, come on. It's getting there. It's just, I think it's because it's left-handed. Come on. Oh, let's try and do right-handed. That's getting there. Let's do it a bit harder now. So on maximum setting, 2 hands. That's looking pretty good. All right. Let's see if we can do one in the middle somewhere, preferably on the end of this bar. Then we can stabilize the bar, stop it smacking up into you when you put some weights on the end. Right. Where is the other? Oh, there you are. Hopefully this will reach round. Let's see. Yeah, this seems narrower than the other bit. Let's try down here. It's not going to reach. Right, new bit and a new end. Oh, so all you do is see how that's bent at the end, slightly bent there. So that's going to be hard to feed through. It's going to snag each time. So just straighten it with a pair of pliers. Then you want to feed through. You're going to put the other end through this way. So you want the screw to be facing this way because this is where you put the end in. So do that, then curve it back. And it's this little triangle on the end that notches into the space in the middle of the metal and locks it in place. So see there, and see how it's now locked in place. Then you pull the other end without cutting your hands off and all locked. Right, now we have to try and feed through and then cut off the end again. Oh. So if we feed through this end with the screw on, that'll be easier than trying to feed through the whole reel. There we go. And then pull it. And then this is going to tighten a lot, so I don't think we need to have much leeway. Let's just cut it there. So cut one side. Or just try and cut the whole lot. That's not going to work. So cut one side only with 2 hands, and then the other side only with 2 hands. And there you go. Well, that looks pretty straight. So we can feed that straight in. There. And if we then try and tighten. Yep, that's working. So slow down the drill. Hold on to the casing. Oh, come on, man. Make the drill a bit stronger by increasing the speed and the strength. That's getting there. Right, this is starting to bend for some reason. Nah, there's something going wrong here. Ah, this other end has got caught. Right, the other metal end got caught, but don't worry. That's out of the way now. So let's start again. Yep, that's feeding through. Let's try holding this drill bit in place. getting there. Just need to hold the drill in place. That's better. 2 hands on the drill. Right. Let's do it all the way to power drill. And then try it again. That seems to be it. Right. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. And 2 on the pole. So that's enough to hold the pole. Oh, you've got to be joking me. Oh, this one hasn't tightened. Right. Now there's something gone wrong here. Yeah, something definitely gone wrong here. This one's actually come off the other one. Ah! This one's actually come off. This has come off this. That's ridiculous. So we have to reverse it all the way by hand off the end of this and then get a new one. I just thought about putting a second one on, but nah, it's not going to work. It's coming off okay. Just takes time. See? Nearly there, about an inch to go. That's annoying. I thought that one was done. I did think about reusing this one, bending it back, but I'll use it for something less heavy because this is quite heavy work. There you go. It's coming off the end. There. So because it's quite heavy work, I'm going to leave that one, get a new one. That one will do. Right, let's start again. Thread this through first. Put this on the right way so the screw is facing the other end that's going to come in. Make sure this is fixed on properly this time. I don't know what happened there. That looks fixed on properly. Put the other end in. Screw it on a bit. Get it going manually. Yep. I can feel that going in. Right. Let's try the drill. This is going to have to be tight because there'll be a bit of weight on there, not much. Another 40 kilos maybe, 50. I always put another strap on if needed. Move your hands so you don't trap your hand underneath. That looks good. Whoa. Ah, it's getting caught on the wood. Right, that's what's bending it. It gets caught on the wood, then it bends, so we've got to turn it around because when it bends, it loses its grip. So let's get a pair of pliers and pull it this way if we can. Now we need to find a way of moving it that way. Right, come on, pull up. There. Move the bar and pull. Right, let's hope this doesn't start bending again. Come on, go over. I don't want this to start bending again. So let's put it back. Let's right. That hopefully now should go over the bar and not bend. I push it down. Still bending. Maybe I'm just doing it too tight. That's weird. That's never happened before. It must be too tight. So, new one again. And don't do it as tight. Maybe do two. Oh, I don't know if two's going to get in the way of each other. Make it even worse. I think stick with one for now. Right. There. First one. Second one's going in. Right, is that in? I think it is. We really want it not catching on anything. So there's a space here. Let's do that. Let's move up to the space. Then it's further up as well, which is better for holding the weights in place. Right, let's try that. But then we want this end to be in the space when it's really being tightened. So we want to start there. Let's start there and move it back when we start getting it in. That's going in. See that feeding in nicely? Right. So we want this end to be, this end here to be in the gap, the leading end, because then it shouldn't bend like last time. So let's try again. Right. Right, so that shouldn't, I think that's tight enough. Any more, I think we're going to bend it again. So let's just leave it there. Maybe it's supposed to be on a flat surface when you do it. But that will do. I'm going to fold this in so you don't catch yourself on it. We fold it in there and do that. And the sharp end's away. Let's get those pliers. Because it will just get annoying if you do that. There. Alrighty. Screw in that post and we're done. So, the only place I've... I marked the centre of this post. So I know where the centre is. And these grooves are for so your fingers can grip the pole. So it's going to have to go there. And if we I think if we push this down naturally, it's going to go in. If I get a sledgehammer, yeah, that's going to stay in if we put some big screws in. Right, let's get some screws in. You're going to want some big ones to get all the way through this wood. So probably bigger than that. Get a drill with the right end. Right, these should do. Yeah, that's more than enough. And that end fits on there, just check it. Yep, that's right, that's big enough. That's what you want to make sure. So let's get a hole we've already used, get one in, actually get two in to align it. That looks pretty straight. I can use this ratchet after this. Let's see if it's the battery. Don't think it is. Nah, it's not the battery. It's just the fact the screws are too tight now, so let's get some more in. That's bent. Yeah, it's pretty hard. But at least it will hold. Let's see if there's other drills any better. That's better. Cool. Right, one more each side, and then ratchet set. Finish it off by hand. And that should hold. Bendy nail, must have used it for something else. Or bendy screw. Right, okay. Ratchet for the last bit just to make sure it's nice and tight. Which is here. That'll do. All we need now is the right end. So I need to get another ratchet set to get the end. Alrighty, let's see if this end works. Yeah, that's pretty good. Even with your full weight, this is not going in. Let's try a wider screw end. That's too wide. Let's try this one. I think these are in far enough. That's full weight. I can feel the actual screw bending. I don't want to snap it off. When you feel the screw bending, it's like elastic, and that noise is the noise it makes when it bends. There. I think that's enough. Right. So let's try it out. Put 5 kilos on. See? Easy. And then either do that way, like that. That way, like that. And also I might get a few bars to do in the middle as well. Like that, but in the middle. So I'll attach a few bars there as well. But that's the one I do most of the time anyway. And this wide grip. And all you do is put more weight on the end. So there you go, homemade back exerciser out of 2 railway sleepers, an old curling bar, and some hose clamping set. Have a good day.